So yesterday we made a video, and it's kind of like a new format that I've been doing because there's just been so much news that I just can't make like 10 different videos a day, each pertaining to a specific topic. So what I do now is I usually put the title of the biggest news in the title of the video, and then I'll like go through all the news within a 15-minute span. From my perspective, in terms of retention, you guys like that a little bit better because it doesn't feel as if the video is being stretched out as long. I don't ramble as much, which a lot of you guys complain about from time to time, and I just could get you guys way more news in general. The con is sometimes people that click on my video won't know what they're getting. So for example, in my Lakers, Clippers, and Knicks and trade talks video, we talked about like 12 different topics, but to my viewer, they probably thought I was only talking about the Lakers, Clippers, Knicks, and Kevin Love and Miles Turner, when in reality we talked about like 15 different players. And one of those potential trades we discussed was the OKC Thunder and either trading George Hill or Trevor Ariza. Now, I did make a joke that pretty much any player on the OKC Thunder that's not named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could be had if a team is willing to part with a draft pick. And lo and behold, that's exactly what ended up happening today. Now, typically I wouldn't make a video about this because this isn't really a game-changing blockbuster trade, but considering the fact that last week I made several videos on Meyers Leonard, and this seems to be a direct repercussion of Meyers Leonard's comments, I figured that I'd make a follow-up video on it. Before we get to that, if you're a subscriber of this channel, please do me a favor and like this video, because those Meyers Leonard videos get a ton of dislikes, so I need my most loyal members of Mike Mafia to support me through this. And if you want me to make more NBA news like this, just comment more NBA news. And if there's a particular topic you'd want me to tackle, comment more NBA news on blank. So if you want more NBA news on the Bulls, comment more NBA news on the Bulls, etc. Also, when we get to 40,000 Instagram followers, I'm going to be announcing a big giveaway. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? About a week ago, actually exactly a week ago, Meyers Leonard was live streaming on Twitch. He was playing Call of Duty, to be exact, and he made some comments, well, in a way where he was just like very frustrated at the game. He like yelled at his TV a little bit, and he said something that was derogatory towards Jews. Bear in mind, I'm Jewish, so I feel like I'm the proper individual to comment on this entire situation. As a result, he lost a bunch of his sponsorships, he was suspended indefinitely from the Miami Heat, and things pretty much weren't going so good for Meyers Leonard as a result of it. He lost his Scuff sponsorship, he lost his PC gaming sponsorship, he lost the FaZe clan, which is probably one of the best clans that you could get your name built off of if you're trying to enter the live streaming space. Decided to part ways with him. Things were just not good for Meyers Leonard as a result of this. And while the Jew in me really wanted to just take some time to say, hey, you know, like, this is a bad word, this should not be said, this is what the word means, because typically I don't deal with anti-Semitism that often, although some of my friends in other parts of the country do. At the same time, I didn't feel like Meyers Leonard deserves to be canceled. I myself have made many mistakes in my career, and I could have been canceled for those mistakes. Thankfully, I am part of a community that seems to be fairly forgiving, unless if you're a couple of NBA YouTubers that like to get together and, you know, talk mess about me on a podcast. For the most part, it seemed like society forgave me for my mistake. So if I was forgiven for my mistake, I forgave Meyers Leonard for his mistake, because I truly believe that there isn't any hatred in his heart towards Jewish people. Nevertheless, I still felt like this was a good opportunity to just educate the masses on what the word rhyming with bike means, and if you don't know what clip I'm talking about, there is a video on my Instagram that you could go check out. And things seem to have quieted down a little bit. As a result, we didn't hear much from Meyers Leonard, he took an indefinite leave, and things just moved forward like fairly quietly. Well, we got an update today in regards to Meyers Leonard, as the OKC Thunder and the Miami Heat have reached an agreement in a trade. So this is according to Adrian Wojnarowski. This is what it says. ESPN sources, Oklahoma City is finalizing a trade to send Trevor Ariza to the Miami Heat for Meyers Leonard and a 2027 second round pick. Leonard must still waive his no-trade clause because of the one-year bird restriction on his deal, which he's expected to do from Miami. Now, it gets a little bit interesting here because Meyers Leonard is waiving his no-trade clause to do this. So originally, you might be thinking, hey, the Miami Heat are really trying to make a push for a championship, and they could really use the defensive versatility and Trevor Ariza's ability to be a 3-and-D wing. But to be honest, the reality of the entire situation is Trevor Ariza hasn't really been a very highly productive player since the 2017 to 2018 season. As a matter of fact, the only value I see in this deal is the fact that, yeah, Trevor Ariza might be able to get some meaningful minutes for the Miami Heat. I have no idea what kind of shape he's in because he hasn't played for the OKC Thunder at all this year. But reality is, this seems to be a bit of a salary dumping move. It seems like the Miami Heat potentially just want to move away from Meyers Leonard in general. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting, guys, because according to Woj, once the trade is completed, there's no expectation that Leonard will be a part of the OKC Thunder moving forward. The deal is expected to be completed today. So to give you a complete rundown of what's going on, the Miami Heat are literally trading Meyers Leonard in addition to a 2027 second round pick, which I personally find to be hysterical, to the OKC Thunder just so they could get back Trevor Ariza. I really don't know what Trevor Ariza's value is as a player because I haven't seen Trevor Ariza play so far, but I'm assuming a 35-year-old wing player that hasn't been positive in his overall box plus minus for 4 years, chances are that you're just trying to get away from the player, especially when you look at Meyers Leonard's statistics and just compare that to Trevor Ariza's statistics. As a matter of fact, this entire trade is completely unnecessary because after the 2021 to 2022 season, Meyers Leonard's contract pretty much expires. So what I'm thinking is, one, maybe the Miami Heat are trying to get away from Meyers Leonard, but I think the bigger picture of this is I don't think the Heat are really trying to punish him. More so, I feel like the Miami Heat are gearing up for a bigger deal that they're about to make. This move sheds like $10 million of cap space that they would have owed Meyers Leonard next year as well, and Trevor Ariza is a significantly more tradable contract than Meyers Leonard is. Teams will happily take on the expiring contract of Trevor Ariza if they were trying to get out of a bad contract. So my question is, are the Miami Heat gearing up to potentially make a run at a player like LaMarcus Aldridge? Or are they trying to go after Victor Oladipo? I don't think they're going after Victor Oladipo because Victor Oladipo said many times he's going to go to Miami in the offseason, but the Heat have been linked to Aldridge for quite some time. Nevertheless, I can't help but feel like that's fairly inefficient because at the same time, the Miami Heat could pretty much wait for the San Antonio Spurs to buy out Aldridge and then just sign him outright. And I think that's very likely to happen. But at the same time, I can't help but feel pretty bad for Meyers Leonard because he made a huge mistake in the middle of a live stream, and now his entire NBA career seems to be in jeopardy. He's going to miss the entire 2020 to 2021 season with a shoulder injury, and there's a good chance, you heard from Woj himself, that he's going to get cut. At the same time, for all you know, maybe next year he's going to come back and he's going to put all this behind him. He's going to have some time to do some positive press for himself, maybe take up Julian Edelman on his offer to really educate himself on the word he said. And by the time he recovers from his injury, he could be back in the NBA next year because his skill set is very coveted in the NBA. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this trade. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.